Bethany, why do you have fruit behind you?
They are my Le Creuset. I said that so wrong. Le Creuset minis. They are like little cooking things.
So you have cooking things with your smut?
Yeah. I have my little fruity, like, cooking pot things with my smut.
So fruity smut.
Fruity smut. It's that's just how it goes.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Dark Collective podcast with your host, Miss Red, and the ever so lovely, the ever so sexual Bethany is here.
In this episode, you see it. The way that we deviate, it's wonderful.
Oh my God, this episode, you guys, like, we deviated so much, but it was so funny. And there's also a moment where Red was like, what are you talking about? And
It was really funny. We had went like a good couple of minutes that her and I are just going after it, like having conversation, and then like Red goes, "Okay, so I have no idea what we just talked about."
And Bethany's reaction was so priceless. Like, she was just like, oh crap, Red has no idea what we're talking about right now. Like,
Oh my gosh.
so good. So definitely we'll tell you guys who we're interviewing in just a minute. And we'll talk about that. But we just wanted to get on here. You know, it's going to be a pretty short intro, you guys, because our episode's a little bit long, but it's really good.
Yeah.
We are so excited that the anthology is finally here. Like,
Yes.
we literally got to interview one of the authors today, actually,
Yes.
Regina Bell. And it's really cool because a lot of the people that are on these episodes have done this book. And I've said it before that book is chunky, but then I saw how chunky it was. And I was like, just thick, like just thick. Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord.
It's so good. I obviously maybe sort of kind of looked just a little peek at what was inside, and it's very good. Like, obviously they're all different stories, so I'm just saying, it's gonna be great, and you're gonna really love it.
It's really because like I am waiting just like everyone else. So I have not peeked inside. I'm really excited to just like open that bad boy up and read it. So definitely you guys go check out our website. It is on pre-order right now. You guys can definitely order it still by the time this episode comes out. And just a quick, what else do we have, Bethany?
We have a couple of different merch options.
Yeah.
Everything is up. So that's everything that we have all of our pre-orders are up on the website. I think that you want to make sure that you're getting those pre-orders in like ASAP.
Yes.
If you're getting the anthology or if you're going to get like a different merch, we have different types of merch that have like there's one that's like pinkish red. There's one that has the Boston tour that has all of the author names on the back of it. It's beautiful. Then there's the other one that's more of like a neutral one in case we have a partner who wants to support and like not have something pink on it. So we did a regular one that's not like, you know, any certain way. And they're
very
all
androgynous. Like we have a lot of androgynous stuff, you guys. Like it's definitely not for just one or the other. So definitely check out the pre-orders. It's on the website. I'm just really excited because I know for a fact that the items that are going to be on there, everyone's going to be walking around the Boston Park Hotel. People are going to be like, what is that? And I'm just gonna be like,
can't wait. It's like a nice inside joke. It's just like,
oh yeah. And like, I think that it's so crazy that by the time this episode airs, we will be less than 2 months. Like, I think closer to 6 weeks. Which is so nuts because like Sinners was born over a year ago, which is so crazy.
I don't wanna like it's so close and I am so not ready. Like we're very ready. We're ready to go, but I am just not. It's insane to see like you're saying like a little bit over a year ago now this idea, and now like you're saying almost 2 months and it's here. It's gonna be a thing. And it's gonna be real. There's gonna be people there.
There's gonna be a lot of people there. And it's so crazy because Bethany will never admit it. Jen will never admit it. I think Joy would admit it, but I don't know. You guys are gonna get recognized. People are gonna want pictures with you guys. It's gonna happen. Like I denied it. I 100% denied it. Everyone's like, Red, it's gonna be you. And I'm like, no. No, that's not how it is. No one's going to know who I am.
You'll never find me.
I want to wear a wig. I'm going to wear a wig and run around. People like, Red, they'll recognize your nails.
I'm going to be in the blow-up costume. You'll never catch me.
Oh, I forgot about that. We're not going to describe it, you guys, but it is fan-fucking-tastic.
Fantastic. It's the mascot.
Oh, literally. Oh, that'd be so good. And I can't wait. You know, one of my favorite moments I'm really excited about? Jenn's mom meeting Jason Pinter.
Oh, God. Jason's going to know. Mom's not going to know.
It's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. And I love how I mentioned Jason Pinter twice in this episode.
I know you did.
Oh, it's so funny. All right. Well, you guys, we are so excited for our interview today, and it is unhinged. I'm just warning you now. Bethany, who do we have today?
Oh my gosh. We have the absolutely sweet, spicy queen bee herself, Stephanie for Bees and Teas.
Yeah, you guys. So please enjoy Stephanie from Bees and Teas. All right, you guys. So please welcome Stephanie, the ever so lovely, ever so powerful queen bee from Bees and Teas. Hello, my dear.
Hello.
How are you?
I am fantastic. The weather is great and the bees are happy.
Oh, yay. You know what's so crazy is my husband right now is literally sleeping off a bee sting.
Oh.
Yeah. He's one of those people that doesn't go into anaphylactic shock, but he swells really bad.
No.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and it's that time of year right now, you know, like I'm in San Diego and it is hot. We're going through like a heat wave right now.
Yeah. I had heard that my husband was actually just in San Diego this week.
Oh, cool. Where do you live?
We live in Andover, Mass.
Oh, cool. So you're close to Boston. That's awesome.
Yep, we are just north of Boston.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Well, we are super stoked to ask some questions. Bethany, do you want to start or you want me to start?
I can start.
Yeah.
I'll switch it up today. Because I love this question too. So what is the reason that you started your shop, or like what inspired you to start a shop?
So we actually started with bees. We started with one hive because we just wanted, bees were in trouble. We wanted to help. This was about 2016. And we got one hive and we loved it so much. We got more hives and more hives and more hives until we got to 2019, when we realized that we had way more honey than we could ever possibly use. So we started selling it. And that's kind of how the shop started. It just started at farmer's market in town. And then it became 40 beehives and a bee co-op. And then we added the tea, and it just kind of organically created itself. By just following what we were passionate about, which is sustainability and bees, and kind of bringing customers these really, really great products that they can also feel good about and know that they do not have a negative impact on pollinators.
That is so cool.
Awesome.
I don't know. I'm not going to lie. I don't know much about bee harvesting. Do you, Bethany?
I actually know just a tad. My dad really wanted to get into it. So I got to hear his rambles. So.
But the thing is that like, this kind of goes into our next question. Like you've been in business since 2016, you said. So I loved farmers market. I used to work at a bar that like was right on the street of a farmers market. Do you feel that because of the success there, plus like the multitude of your hives, really just kind of like threw you into the business side of it?
Yeah. And it was like one point we woke up in like 2021 and realized it wasn't a hobby anymore. It was, it had been a business, but it wasn't a side hustle anymore.
Right.
And that's when I was like, you know what? I want to do this. I want to do it full time. I want to leave my corporate role. And I had been blending teas and I've always been a tea drinker, but I'd really been learning about tea. And I thought, you know what? Tea and honey, bring my two things, bring them together and see what happens.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Cause I won't lie. Like this is like my beauty room. What I'm in, I never have the cool bookcases like everybody else, but, cause my bookcase has shoes on it. Cause I'm an e-reader. So right behind me though, I built this like cute little like reading nook, and I literally have, whenever I'm reading an audiobook, I have to have tea. And like my favorite is like anything chamomile vanilla. And then I add a little bit of mint leaves and honey. And it is literally like,
so nice.
Oh, it's like, I have to have tea when I'm reading. So I totally get that.
I'm the biggest chamomile snob. Like it has to be Egyptian chamomile.
Dang.
I am like I know it's like a weird thing to be that particular about, but I am very chamomile particular.
That needs to go on a sticker. You should put that on a sticker. Chamomile snob. Just because
oh my gosh, please.
That is literally going to go on my water bottle because like literally I don't have a ton of real estate, but I will find a place like that's so good.
You gotta get the good stuff if you're going to get stuff, right?
Well, no, because it's true though. Because like Bethany, you've been to farmers markets before, right?
Mm-hmm. Lots of them.
And what I love about that, it's like you know, a family environment. And like my sister is like, she calls herself a coffee snob, right? And so she always said, oh, I'm a coffee snob, but Starbucks has the best tea. And I'm like, isn't that just Tazo tea? Like to me, I'm like,
it's just Tazo.
It's just Tazo. So, which is not horrible if you guys like it, then you guys like it. It's fine.
Yeah.
But like when I went to a farmer's market in Carlsbad in San Diego, I got like a free little sample of this. Like it was a rosemary lavender lilac tea, and it had like little honeycombs in it and or whatever. It was this cute little pouch or whatever. And she goes, all you have to do is literally just drop it into hot water. Don't take it out of the bag, leave it in the bag. And I was like, it's tea bag. Got it. And literally, it was just really cute. And it was the most interesting flavored tea I've ever had. But she literally said, don't take this at night. It will keep you up. I did not listen.
Oh no.
I was up until 3 in the morning.
I can see that. I can see it keeping you up. Yeah, no, definitely be a wake up tea, not a sleepy time tea right there.
No sleepy time.
Yeah. We actually we don't do as many farmers markets now as we used to because we do a lot of Renaissance fairs.
I think Jenn saw you at one, right? Like that's I think she saw you at the Ren Fair that she went with Annie. If I remember correctly.
We have King Richard's Fair, I think.
Yep,
yeah.
King Richard's.
Where we have the world's largest teapot.
That's so awesome.
You know, if you're going to follow your dreams, follow all of them. Just do it all. Like,
oh my God.
Let it go.
I love that though. So, we talked a little bit about like Egyptian chamomile, which I am learning now is a thing because I'm still learning all the types of tea. My partner is he's definitely the particular one. I'm just like, I like it. It tastes nice. But what would be out of the teas and the blends that you guys have? What would be your favorite?
Well, for a really long time, my favorite was a tea called White Witch, which is a white tea with mango and papaya. Gotcha. It's very soft. It's very citrusy, very fruity, delicious. But last year I came out with one called A Court of Smut and Fae. And I think it's kind of become my favorite. It's a blueberry and violet tea.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Because I stalked your Instagram and I don't know why we didn't put this in the questions. I think it was because like it was very late when I was doing this, but I do have to ask you this. What made you bring your business into the book world? Because I feel like that is such a cool question to ask.
Yes.
It was a little accidental, actually. When we brought the teas out, I was naming the teas, and I just decided to name them after things that I liked, and books are like my favorite things. So we ended up with the Shire. We had White Witch, Hitchhiker's Brew. Like our first 10 teas were very book based, and I just really loved it. And so as we introduced more teas, I just kind of kept going with the things that I loved and the books that I loved. And now it's kind of become part of our brand that we have these bookish teas.
I love that.
But I really, I only do it for the books I really love. I have to really like the book. And then I'll feel inspired to make a tea to go with it.
I love that though.
Yeah. And wait, can I ask, is Hitchhiker's Tea for Lauren Beale?
No, Hitchhiker's Brew was from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh, okay.
I know that one.
But I love, so I get it now.
Yeah,
I 100% get it now. So I was just like, I automatically thought of you, Bethany, because I was like, Lauren Beale, Mayo.
That's a good reference, though. It could go that direction. Yeah.
You should literally just
like make a new label for it. Just like create it out.
Just throw it on there. It's fine. It's totally fine. No, because I think that's so cool because you're in a business that technically no one would ever think that would be in the bookish industry. And it's the same thing with me. I'm a hairdresser. No one thought that I'd be doing with what I'm doing with Sinners. So I love to hear how different people and businesses end up on that side of book talk, which I think is so cool.
Yeah, it's book talk is like the funniest thing to me because I am like an OG fantasy reader. Like I have like Andre Norton. I have like Mercedes Lackey.
Wow.
old books, right? Like on my bookshelf, I could pull them off. So I've been reading fantasy. I have an AO3 account from 2009.
Oh my.
I'm just like screaming inside, like snaps all around. That is.
So I always laugh. I'm like, people are like, book talk so new. I'm like, we've all been here for a couple decades. You're just noticing. Yeah.
You're just now finding us.
You're just now finding out how weird we all are with Ice Planet Barbarians. That was, that's all it is. You're just figuring it out today.
So, kind of random and very off topic from our questions, but were you on the side of like AO3 as the Omegaverse was formed?
Yes.
Oh, you just made Bethany so happy.
It's just such a thing.
I did like AO3 from like 2009 to like 2014, 2015. Okay. And then around 2010, I really got into like the Kindle. Before Kindle Unlimited, there was like the Kindle indie authors, and all of their books were like 99 cents.
Right.
So like I went like deep into like indie authors. I had no idea what he was even like on the mainstream fantasy world for like a year and a half. So I just read indie authors for forever.
That's awesome though.
But yeah, no, I was Omegaverse, the creation of Omegaverse. Very interesting to watch. And it's funny, like, because it was tied to like the Twilight thing, right?
Yeah.
Because we had
Twilight
like
Supernatural, yeah.
Yeah, like we had like True Blood, we had Twilight, and all of that kind of fed into this creation of the Omegaverse.
Yeah.
Which was really cool. And like the original fanfic side of things was really interesting. And it's fun to watch like some authors like SJM who originally posted on AO3 and on another, I don't remember what site it was, but a different site, originally posted some of their fanfic and like Allie Hazelwood.
Yeah.
Like I read an Allie Hazelwood book and I kept thinking like, I've read this book. And it's like, it just came out. I'm like, no, I've read this book. But it was just like, I had read so many of her things that she had written on AO3.
Right.
That's so cool. So I act like I know what AO3 is, but I have no clue what it is. Is it like a Tumblr?
AO3
I'm the worst.
It's Archive of Our Own, and it's basically like it's a website. It's a server, and it holds all of like these independent, non-traditionally published books. A lot of fanfic is in there.
Okay.
And it started in like 2007, 2008, because like before then there had been like all of these different websites that like had fanfic that they were storing. But then when the person would stop paying for the server, all of the data was lost.
Oh.
And so AO3 was kind of community created and like community paid for, and kind of created this centralized server that people could post. You can go in there and there's just like a million different stories.
So many.
Oh, that's so cool.
Everything you could think of.
We interviewed today Regina Bell, and she, is very Omegaverse, and so, all of this, I'm like, was she on there? Like, who else was going to be on there?
I definitely should have asked. Now that I think about it.
I was, because again, learning something new every episode. So,
it's also just, like the concept of the Omegaverse, because like I was explaining, Red talks about all the time how like she's called me before being like, can you just tell me what this is? But the fact that like it's in books nowadays, but it started in like, it's something that just was kind of like created and then developed its own thing on AO3, like through fanfic. Like it's just really awesome to kind of think about that like evolution of it essentially. And that's what I absolutely geek out over. But it's really cool to think about. And like you're saying, like all these authors that you're just like, I've read this before. I've read this tone before. Where were you? And then you're just like, who did I read?
Last year I read all of SJM books. I did Throne of Glass. And I was reading Assassin's Blade, and I was sitting there and I was like, I have read this book. I know that I have read this book. And I actually, like, I called my sister and I was like, look, I'm reading this book, but I swear we have read this book. And that's when she was like, yeah. You read like a really rough draft of it, probably like 15 years ago on AO3. Yep. And it was like, that was kind of a cool thing. And like Allie Hazelwood's really cool to see coming out of AO3. And there's a few others.
There's a few others. When you start digging into it, I have to go find the Reddit thread of I saw somebody posting like everybody that they had found, and it's really surprising because you're like, wow, it's pretty cool in my opinion. Just to like, you know, you're on AO3 and then all of a sudden you start getting really big and you're like, maybe I'll publish this, and then Allie Hazelwood, like,
yeah. Well, Jennifer Armentrout was on there tue.
I do believe I've heard that.
Yeah, like she was on AO3, and she was on a different one though. She was on I think it was called like fanfic.net or something.
Right.
You guys are stretching my memory. I'm like going deep into the archives of my mind here.
It's my fault because I was like, AO3, is that a boy band? Like, I didn't know.
When you see the symbol of it too, if you see the symbol, I'll show you later. You'll be like, this definitely looks like a boy band.
I love that for me. Love that.
It's a great place though of the internet. We love it.
It is. It really is.
So you've done like the farmer's market. You've done, you know, and your shop's somewhat new. What is the hardest part about owning a shop for you?
I think probably the hardest part of kind of owning any business is maintaining that balance between, you know, creating new things that keep the customers engaged, but not overwhelming yourself, and kind of having a really steady organic growth. Like we've gone viral a couple of times on TikTok. And that can be very challenging because it's great because a lot of people see you and they want your products and it's awesome, but it is not sustainable. And so not allowing yourself to kind of get distracted by those moments and think, okay, it's always going to be like that. And we've worked really hard to grow at a very steady pace. And even though we could have probably grown larger faster, we wanted to just kind of maintain it at a smaller, more consistent level. So I think that's probably the most difficult part of it. I think specific to like books, like the hardest part of it in being in a book community is that your product is tied to the reputation of that author.
Yep.
And an example I can give is we used to have Harry Potter teas.
Oh, gotcha.
We had an entire set of, I think there were 5 or 6 Harry Potter teas that we had created that went with the books. We had Mischief Managed. We had one for each of the different houses. They actually turned that color. It was really cool. But then, you know, when the author, who should not be named, did what she did and made the decisions that she made, you know, we tried to separate. I think a lot of people did try to separate the art from the artist, and eventually reached a point in which we said, we really can't do that anymore. And so we had these products that we had developed and we had purchased, and we actually ended up going through and removing them from all of the products, renaming them, relabeling them, redoing all of it, in order to separate ourselves from that brand. And I think when you're in the bookish space, that's such a risk that you take, you know, that this product that you brought out is going to end up outside of your control, having a problem, right?
So no matter how great it is, it might still have like you said, it's work to like rebrand it and do different things with it. And that's something that I don't think a lot of people think about either, is like shops have to go through that process of like, okay, what do we do now? Like, I loved this tea thing or this tea set, but now, you know, it represents this. How do we change it to be something that we actually want to support, something that we want to highlight? And like you're saying, like, that's a really good point to just kind of like think about too, is like giving grace to shops just to get that, because it takes time. It's not like something that happens overnight.
And it was like you said, you know, it's not something that's even within your control. It's a decision that somebody else makes, and that's the risk that you take in the bookish space, because you're relying on someone else's creation to an extent. Your creation is fanfic in the end, right? So it's kind of one of the interesting and difficult parts, deciding when an author is large enough and vetting them and making sure that they align with the values. Because just because they write a great book doesn't necessarily mean that they align with the values that you and your company have.
Exactly.
It's very true. Exactly. Very true. Because I can understand, because I own a business, and it takes one situation for you to look at your business completely differently. But at the end of the day, it is your business and you have to protect yourself. You have to be selfish, and I think people don't like to admit that, like right. Bethany owns a shop as well, so it's like, sometimes you're going to go through something and you literally want, because I'm a hard on my sleeve girl, and I want to help everybody. And like, my love language is giving people gifts and like making people feel good. Right. So, but sometimes I have to literally remember, when it comes to my business, you have to be selfish. Like, you just have to be.
Yep.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. And it can be difficult. It's like it's also learning like that just because you can do things doesn't mean that you should be the one doing them. Mm-hmm. That was really, really hard for me when I was first starting, because I'm neurodivergent. So to me, I'm just like, I can do it all. And like, you really shouldn't do it all, right? Mm-hmm. Like you have to reach a point in which you say, I have the ability to do this, but that doesn't mean that I should be the one doing it.
Correct.
Yeah. No, I get that.
It's a good language shift. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mentality, I guess. So we were talking about like, tea lines. Do you have any limited edition items or like special ones that you like about?
We do limited edition. We used to do a lot more limited edition. As we've gotten larger, it's gotten harder. But normally, like when we do King Richard's Fair specifically, I will do one special tea every weekend, and that tea is attached to a charity.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's just like a special blend, and we'll do a really small run of it. There's been a couple that like I made and it was supposed to be a small run, but then people were like DMing me like, can we get it? Can we get it? Where do we get it? And then I cave, because I always cave to my customers, and bring it out. But like, we did Ruthless, which we gave to abortion rights activists. We did one that was we did Loki's Luck, which went to the Trevor Project. We've done lots of different things like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. So we do those, and we have like some special edition, like we did some special edition Bridgerton teas. Now we only have like you're talking to
some Bridgerton lovers. So just
so we have actually I don't have it with me. We have an entire box set that's in the Regency style, and it's Lady Whistledown's tea and honey set. And it has Pin Secret, the Queen's Breakfast. What else is in there now? The Viscount and Dearest Reader.
Oh my God. You guys, if you could see me and Bethany's faces at the exact same time, we covered our mouths in complete
We're both
shock.
Freaking out.
Like, it's so, because obviously right now too, with Bridgerton just launching the final parts of their third season. But Dearest Reader, that brilliant. Chef's kiss.
I love
it's
that.
It's a delicious, so it's a green and white tea blend.
Absolutely. Yes.
Very floral. It's very delicious. Probably. It's very feminine floral green tea.
That's why I like white tea. It's very pretty.
Yeah, white tea is probably like my favorite type of tea leaf.
Right.
But I'm like so picky about it that we only have like 3 different ones. So.
Because why? Because I'm a chamomile snob.
Because I'm a chamomile snob.
No, literally, I can never give that up. It's literally
she's gonna
everything.
See you at Sinners, and she's gonna say
chamomile snob.
You know what? I will bring you some organic Egyptian chamomile.
Oh, you're so sweet.
So that way she can be a snob too.
I actually have like this tea called Dreamland, and we discontinued it for like a year and a half because we couldn't get the right Egyptian chamomile. And my husband was like, just put regular chamomile in it. I'm like, no, it won't be good.
So obviously we talked about, I love that you take your teas and you create everything with them. I mean, you give them back to charity. That's such a huge thing. But we asked earlier, like, you being in the book world and everything. So I have to know, what is your favorite genre to read, or what are you reading right now? What are you obsessed with?
So I am what I call a chaos reader.
Oh my God. That's literally what's on her shirt right now.
It's a mood reader. It's a chaotic mood reader one.
Yeah, great.
I will read anything. I actually just finished book number 93 of the year.
Jeez.
I read a lot. I read a tremendous amount. And I was laughing because I was like looking back over the year of like what I've read. Like just a wide variety of fantasy. I read a lot of fantasy. I think would probably be I read a lot of fantasy, and I read a lot of like classic literature.
Oh, okay.
I tend to.
I'm definitely the romantasy reader in the Dark Collective. Like, I'm the fairy wing baby. Like, I think I've tried to read certain books that Jenn says I'm not allowed to read anymore. It just threw me for a loop, you know? And I'm obviously like trying to read one book from every author from Sinners, right? Like that's a TBR that is big.
Unending.
And I literally, before we even announced Sinners, like I went to Jenn and I was like, well, we're going to start this event. Like I should probably read something dark because I'm coming off of, these are the books I'm coming off of. All of SJM.
Yeah.
Jennifer L. Armentrout. Lauren Thalisa, the Four Horsemen series. Like these are the books.
Good series.
Yeah, it's so good. So good. Like War is the love of my life. Which is so unhinged, but that's fine. We're getting off topic. But literally I said to Jenn, like, I need something dark to read because I've only ever done this. Like, this is where I've lived. And do you want to know what book she threw at me? She goes, oh, this will be a good starter book for you. Haunting Adeline.
That's off the deep end right there. You just like tossed her right.
She literally was like,
just chucked her in the pool.
You could have started with like some Opal Rain, like some Duskwalker going first.
No.
So it's funny because I'm actually sitting here next to my copy of Corrupt by Penelope Douglas, which is actually signed. It's amazing.
Oh, that's awesome.
But yeah, that was kind of my first delve into like really dark.
Yeah, that's what I've heard with that.
Ooh,
well, because I asked Jenn, I like literally Googled dark romance books, and the very first book to come up on Google was Den of Vipers by K.A. Knight. And she was like, no, you can't start there. You cannot start there. No. And so, you know, but she threw me over there. And then at a Polycon, I met K.A. Knight, and she was one of the kindest, sweetest human beings. And she gave me the extra chapters book. And instead of me reading the whole book first, I read the extra chapters first. Yeah, yep. My dreams were very interesting that evening. Let's just say that.
I read Den of Vipers this year, actually. That was, I think I read it like a month ago, maybe.
Yeah.
And I told somebody I felt like I was being held hostage by the book. That was an interesting read.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. I don't know. I got on like a weird, like alien romance kick the last couple of months. It's really strange. My mom's like, what are you reading? I'm like, I'm not telling you. It's not appropriate.
So, but tell us. Tell me what you're reading. What are you reading?
So I just finished a series, The Clasinians. And it starts with Choosing Theo.
Bethany knows. You can see that she knows.
Yeah. Well, I can't see you guys right now, but it's okay.
Sorry. Sorry.
It's okay. Yeah. So I just finished those. Like, and I started reading Choosing Theo, and I was like, I don't know about this book. It was kind of, I don't know. And then I'm like 22% in, and I'm like, so we're just going to buy the whole series.
That's how that goes with that series. You just you have to commit.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's when I just finished that series.
Have you read, this is kind of random, but I get really excited. Have you read the Infinite City series by Tiffany Roberts?
I don't think I have.
Okay, so if you want, I read it specifically because I saw this one piece of fan art from a character who was in the second book. He's in the first book by like a tiny bit, then he got his own. He actually got 2 books in the series. It's very specific, and I will send you the fan art so you can see it, and then you will probably read it.
Look at it. I'll have to look for that Infinite City.
I'm gonna study it.
I will look at that. Yeah,
just a little bit.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, no, my TBR is I was really proud because I got it down to like 7 books.
Oh wow. I wish.
I had like
last
700.
And then it just like, I don't know, but you're online and somebody's like, oh, I read this book, it's really good. And then you want to read it.
Right.
Right. And yeah,
That's
so
fair.
it's unending.
So with all the books that you've read, or just like all the books, that there are out there, have you ever worked with an author to create a line? Do you have a dream author that, or a dream book series that you would want to make a new line with for teas?
So I have worked with a few authors to create teas with their books.
Okay.
A few times, like we have like our licensed teas, like we have our SJM teas. We have, we just got licensing with DreamWorks for a toothless tea. It's a dragon fruit.
We're freaking out. You can't see it on the screen, but we're freaking out. That's literally one of my favorite animated films.
Well, I was making a dragon fruit tea, and I mean, what else do you name a dragon fruit tea? So we just did that.
I mean, come on, toothless tea.
That is,
and it has
toothless
fits on it. He's really cute.
Will you have it at Sinners?
I will have it at Sinners. Yeah, okay, I think I'm actually going to have it on sample at Sinners.
Oh, that's amazing!
I was going to do that. I'm going to do, I think, Court of Smut.
Yes.
I was going to do Suriel. I haven't decided what else.
So funny thing about that. So we went to where I met Bethany for the very first time was at an event in Florida, and they had a costume contest, and I was very intoxicated. And they were like, you got to go up on stage, because I was dressed as Glam Cereal. So I had this big, beautiful black dress. I had this diamond skull purse. I had tea bags in my purse. I had it was this whole get up, and I was hammered. And they were like, get on stage. And I was like, no. And Jen was like, if you go out there, because she was wearing a red dress with wings, she was like, I'll be the dead chicken. And I was like, okay. So I get up there, and in my mind, this is what I said. I'm the cereal. I have all the tea. But what I actually said was, I'm cereal tea. That's all that came out. And everybody went ape shit. I ended up winning, and it was fantastic.
I think it was the combination of you and Jen, the dead chicken.
Oh my god!
Was just the whole audience. It was sold.
Literally, Jen got on the stage, and because it was one of those things for clapping for the winning. I get up there and beat the person I'm next to, and Jen gets up there and she goes, "She's the cereal. I'm the dead chicken." It was hysterical. Hysterical.
I just wish there was a video somewhere.
There's a video of Jen, but of me, everyone was screaming so loud that
it was so bad.
It doesn't even matter. But there's a video of Jen. I'll send it over. It's hysterical. It's so good. So I love that you create teas based on characters. I think that's so cool. But because I'm just psycho, I still think that you should make a tea for Lauren Beale and put a mayo canister on it just to really throw people
off. A little
bit
of mayo.
Oh
yeah.
my god.
I don't know what that would
It'd be so funny. But... She would find it hysterical. That's the best part.
I'm gonna have to think about that. What would a mayo themed tea?
It would just have to be it'd have to be something creamy.
Ew.
Cream Earl Grey.
Oh, right. Creamed Earl Grey.
That is so good. So good. Oh, God, we're way off topic, but this is fantastic.
This is, you have to stay on topic.
Oh, no, 100%. So oh God, so great. So we talked about the hardest part about owning a shop, right? But I want to know the opposite side of it. What has been in the vast world of book shops, what has been your biggest achievement?
Probably accidentally building the world's largest teapot.
I'm gonna need to see a picture.
Yeah, can you please explain this story? You have to go into it.
Accidentally building.
Yeah.
So at King Richard's Fair, we had a booth. We purchased it, and it was an older booth, and we wanted to replace it. And we hired a guy named Matt Pelletier. He is a builder, and he builds a lot of the fantasy buildings at fairs.
Oh, cool.
And so he told me, he asked me, he's like, what do you want? And I'm like, I want a giant teapot. And he's like, well, send me some photos. And I couldn't find any photos of actual teapot buildings. So I sent him teapots that were shaped like buildings.
Oh, cool.
And I was like, I want this, but life-sized. And so we ended up with this 20 by 20 hexagon wooden teapot that we sell our tea from at the Ren Fair. And when we added like the handle and the spout, it came out to like a 30-foot,
Oh my God.
like 30 feet by 20 feet. And then we realized via Google that the world record is like 14 feet by 10 feet. So we like accidentally broke it. Like it wasn't the intention. We just wanted a big teapot.
Have you called Guinness out to like actually put yourself in the Guinness World Book? Like,
so we're getting our world record on August the 31st.
Congratulations.
Yeah, very, very exciting. So the world record is going to be announced. The king is going to deliver our like plaque and our trophy and stuff to us at the Ren Fair on the 31st. But yeah,
that is the
to me, it's like the coolest thing. Yeah, like I mean, if you're going to do like just go big, right? And we're installing a fountain that's like a little teacup, and the spout will like go into the teacup. It's going to be amazing.
What?
Yeah. So that was probably like my favorite thing I've done. Like other than just having the company in general.
Because it was an accident. Awesome. Like you weren't trying to do that. Like you were just like, I just want a really big motherfucking teapot. Little did I know it literally created the world record. Like I was
say
like, I'm
just casually.
I know
the world record.
You could literally walk into Sinners and be like, I'm a world record holder. Love it. Just love me.
And I called my mom and she was like, "You're the only person that I would ever believe could accidentally do that." I was like, yes, that's
I love
amazing.
that from Mom.
I love that for you. That's fantastic.
Oh my God.
That's my favorite thing I've done.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So there's a lot, so many achievements, so many awesome things business-wise. What is something that you wish you would have known when you first started, or something you wish you could tell somebody who is just starting?
I think probably the hardest lesson that I learned was being confident in being true to myself and what I like. Like, it's so easy to try to chase the mainstream.
Right.
And try to appeal your product to the mainstream. And I wish that looking back, there were times in which I tried to be more appealing to the mainstream. And the reality is I'm not a mainstream person. I'm never going to be. And in order to have products that I love and that I want, then I kind of have to let that go and live in my crazy lane that I belong in.
Yeah.
And I think being confident enough in yourself to say, this is who I am and this is what I want and this is what I want to create. And if other people don't like it, that's on them, right? They don't have to drink it. They don't have to purchase the products.
Exactly.
And staying really true to that, I think, was probably the biggest lesson that I learned.
Wow. I love that.
Own it.
Exactly. Like literally, that's so great. Like we literally had an interview earlier and she was just like, find your tribe. And I love how yours is just like, just own it. Like, I love that. Like there's this question and the next question we ask every single person and we love the answers because there's just so they're like, they make the conkles of my tiny heart get so excited. And also it makes Bethany giggle, which I love Bethany's giggle. But on top of it, all seriousness, it inspires people. And that is so huge in this industry because it is a very much women driven industry right now, and there is men. We love you men, but like it's a lot of women that need that inspiration right now. And I just love it so much.
We get to grow off of each other, you know? It's a great feeling.
And I love it when I'm at an event and somebody comes in and they see the tea and they're like, oh my God. And then you're having like this detailed conversation about ACOTAR, in the middle of this event. You've found like a buddy. You're like, oh, I love this,
Yeah. And I get that though, because I had a new client yesterday and she literally was like, so I was like looking at your Instagram, like, have you ever read that book, Court of Thorns and Roses? And I was like, yes, and much darker. It was really funny because I was like, so many things there. So many things.
It's the gateway drug.
It is 100% the gateway. That and Jennifer L. Armentrout, I feel like are the two gateway authors right now. Like if you've written one, you've read the other, Or
like Rebecca Yarros is kind of a gateway.
Oh, she's the newest gateway drug.
100%.
Yeah. And it's funny because I've heard a few of my clients who've never read, they've read books, obviously, but they haven't been in the book talk world. And they literally said, first chapter, first line, they were like, this is unhinged and I'm obsessed with it. Like, what is this? And then they can't put the book down. And it's And what I also love about Rebecca Yarros is she's one of the kindest, sweetest humans. Like
Aww.
we were lucky enough to meet her at a Polycon. Jen got to meet her at another event. Like you just don't really, I love that, you know, and it's so cool to see more gateway drug authors show up. And I know that may be the worst reference ever, but it's like, you know, like it's there.
It's true.
So again, talking about books. Yeah.
There's some new ones coming out too. And I think we'll probably see like a shift. It's kind of like a cycle, you know, with what's popular in the books. And I think we'll see a little bit of a shift. Probably in the next couple of years where we have another kind of fourth wing ACOTAR kind of come out.
Oh yeah.
And I'm excited.
I hope it's a monster. I literally hope it's a monster romance.
Hoping it's a monster.
Because I look at people like Jason Pinter is a perfect example who started with thriller and then, you know, did Dating and Dismemberment and it went, you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's one of those things where it's really cool to see even authors in different genres come out with a series into our book talk world. And all of a sudden they're like, boom. Because it just takes one viral video. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like cool. Butcher and Blackbird.
Oh yeah,
Bryn,
yeah,
massive right now.
Mm-hmm.
I recently read Clear by Jessica Park.
Oh yeah,
and I it's very different than what I have read in like or even normally read. But I've been for some reason like obsessed with that book, and I'm like, why are there no sequels? I like need more of that book. And I get like it got tied up with a nice little bow and such, but it was really I liked the way that the characters went, and I've kind of been searching for something in that genre again. But I really hope that Allie Hazelwood would bring with her like a resurgence of Omegaverse.
Oh yeah,
that's what I'm thinking.
Like I would love for a resurgence of Omegaverse. I could pull out like some of my old Omegaverse.
She's like, I can make that happen.
I could give some recommendations.
Oh, I love that. What are you most excited about as Sinners and Stardust?
The ball.
Oh yeah.
I'm really looking forward to the ball. Any chance to put on a frilly gown, I'm in. Like I'm there all the time.
Do you have a gown already?
So I've been working on one.
Ooh.
But I kind of had to put it to the side because I did finish my Ren Fair costumes for this year. But yeah, no, I've been working on one. I had an unfortunate incident in which my wedding gown was ruined.
Oh no.
And I mean, it's 20 years old. I've gotten over it, but I was able to salvage the lace from it.
Oh, cool.
And so I'm using that to make my ball gown. I figured it was a good use.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. So
it's so funny because speaking of weddings, I was on the show Say Yes to the Dress, and I have a dress that I bought that I ended up buying another dress when I went on the show. And that thing has been on sale for almost 4 years, and it's never sold, and it's never been opened, never altered, never anything. And I'm like, do I just dye it black and just make it my dress for the ball?
Do like a nice like ombre dye thing going.
Yeah. I'm just kind of like, do I use it? I don't know. It's fine.
I took my lace and dyed it silver, and then there'll be a black dress with the silver lace. So it should be pretty.
That's
looking
so
forward
cool.
to it.
I'm excited.
That and Opal Ring, because I am a massive Opal Ring fan. So
I will have to say, I don't know if Opal Ring will ever listen to this, but I will say this. I have interviewed her twice, and she is the most soft-spoken, kind person.
Very sweet.
She is so sweet. And it's the fact that she chose us for the first time ever to come to the U.S. All of us, when we found out she was coming, we were like,
I lost my marbles. My marbles were gone.
We're gone.
I don't even use that phrase. That's how freaked out I was, because like that was like we were still baby. We were still new,
baby,
and we were like, I'm sorry, what? Who?
I love that.
Yeah, no, I was excited when you guys announced it. I was like, I'm in.
This is why everyone's excited about the ball, right? Do you want to know what I'm most excited about? Bethany's heard this 1,000 times. I am so excited for the author meet and mingle, because it's going to be a safe place for you to meet your people without having to worry about selling anything. But you will. Yeah. Everybody's going to be excited to meet their readers, their customers, and everything. Yeah. But it's a safe place for you guys to be like, I'm a fan. We're all here for the same reason. What's up? Let's make a friendship, you know? And I'm going to be a little fly on the wall being like, oh, look, it's happening. Stephanie's meeting Opal. It's happening over there. Look. You're
going to just see like everybody's going to be freaking out over each other.
It's going to be adorable.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be a lot of woohoo girls for people that are not woohoo girls. Like, you know what I mean? And then all the significant others that are there to support their partners are going to be like,
I know.
Cool. This is awesome.
Right. My significant other is not coming. He is going to be working the Ren Fair while I go.
Oh, well.
Oh, goodness.
It's fine. We're here for you. We're here.
I love the support.
I have one of my employees is going with me, so it'll be great. We're excited.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. It's going to be a good time. You know what? The biggest thing is I don't remember where my rolling crate is to put the books I buy into.
Oh, no. Yeah.
I gotta find that.
You're gonna need those.
That's
You're gonna need it. I mean, and the way we have the event lined up is just gonna be so much fun. You're gonna have a blast. Like the coolest thing is you'll be able to see everything too, and just kind of see where everyone is, and it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah. Well, and you guys can stop by. We'll have samples of tea. So if you feel yourself getting super thirsty.
We will be running around like crazy people. But like, you know, our whole thing is we want people to see us, to know us. Like, so we are going to have a member of the Dark Collective just always around. We will always be around. You'll hear me before you see me. I promise you that. I promise you.
That is awesome. I can't wait. I think it's going to be a really great time. And it's nice to meet other like-minded people that aren't going to judge what you read. Or how much you read.
It's a safe place. And that's why honestly, Bethany can attest to this. We created an event that is so on brand that we were like, you love dark. You don't want to tell anybody what you're reading. Hint, hint. Come to us. We want you to come hang out with us. Yeah.
We're all going to talk about it and then pretend like we didn't talk about it all weekend.
I cannot wait to count how many times I hear the word monster peen. I can't wait to
It's gonna be me. She's gonna be behind me with a little tally sheet and just like follow me around all weekend.
Exactly. That's exactly what's gonna happen. All right, my dear. Well, that is the end of the episode. You seriously are so fun, first of all, because I just can't wait to drink all your fun teas. I can't wait to see the Guinness World Record soon to be largest teapot, because that is amazing. So again, thank you so much.
Thank you again so much for being on and letting me go down my Omegaverse rabbit hole and detouring the entire thing just for a little bit. That was wonderful. I really appreciate it, and you're amazing.
Well, thank you guys for having me on. It's always nice to talk to people who are interested in the same things and who are passionate about reading and about the type of books that we like and accepting of them. So I do appreciate it. It's been wonderful talking to you.
Yeah. So Stephanie, how do we find you on socials?
So we are on Instagram at bees-teas, and we are on TikTok at bees-teas.
Well, that's awesome. You guys make sure to go follow Bees and Teas, follow Stephanie on all of her socials, and make sure you guys tune in to the Dark Collective podcast every Monday, 9 a.m. Pacific and 12 p.m. Eastern. We are literally on every platform. And thanks again, Stephanie, so much. And we'll see you guys soon. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.